Episode 57. Will these comics make good TV shows and movies? We got Godzilla and the Justice League, we got Alien, and we got James Bond 007. Stay tuned for my thoughts right now. Alright, welcome back to the channel. 57, we're getting there to that 60 mark. Can't believe it. And so yeah, we're going to talk about some comics. We're going to review them. We're going to see what happened in them. We're going to keep you up to date and everything that's going on in Marvel, DC, and Independence. And then we're going to talk about whether they're written well or not. So I am your host. I am Frank Zanca. I am an award-winning screenwriter, novelist, and comic book writer. I am also a not-so-working line producer. Looking to get back to work, hopefully shortly, but it is cold outside. Thank God, actually, we're not doing any exteriors at this point. I think it's like 20 degrees out there. I haven't seen that kind of temperature for a long time since I moved from Los Angeles. And prior to that, I moved from Florida, so it's pretty cold out there. So stay warm, everybody. Stay warm. All right, so let's jump right into it. We are going to talk about Justice League and versus Godzilla versus King Kong versus your monkey's uncle. And and even in the last issue, I'm like, we have all this stuff going on and Aquaman's not there. I was so upset. And then Aquaman appears in this issue, although we have to talk about it. So let's. So this is I think it's by Brian Bosolito. Let me just check that real quick. I think that's what it is. So I'm just going to assume it is. But this is, what number is this? I can't tell you. It does not say on the. I must have a. Number 4. So this is number 4. So far, it's been very good. In comparison to what it could be, I'm finding this very, very well written. He's taking it a little bit more seriously than I think everybody expected. So we have the Legion of Doom that went and tried to steal something from the Justice League, and they ended up dealing with a Dreamstone or something to that effect, and that took them to another area where there was monsters, and they ended up, Toyman specifically, ended up bringing those monsters to the real world, or to our world, I shouldn't say, to our world, and now there's a mashup of the Monsterverse and the DC Universe. So the last issue, Supergirl was all over the place. I don't know, she was in every scene, even if it was across the globe, she was everywhere. So her and Ollie ended up on an island with King Kong, and that's where that part ended. Superman got blasted by Godzilla's heat ray, and he is messed up. He was trying to save Billy, and Billy was trying to use the lightning to stop him, and that didn't work. So he saved Billy, but kind of sacrificed himself at the same time. Batman just wasn't having it. They said, we got to get him to the doctor, and he goes, no, we'll take care of Superman. And that's how everything ended. And there's, a monster on Themyscira, there was a monster in Metropolis, there was a monster in Gotham, but, Batman and his team took care of it, and now we're into issue 4. And we start out with, all the people that are already hurt, like Atom Smasher and stuff like that, and of course Billy is feeling very, very guilty that he caused Superman to get hurt, and they think that Superman's dead, and that's really a nice shot. I mean, that's really beautiful artwork right there, and Batman is getting very defensive when they say, he's dead, and they're like, and Batman's like, no, he's not dead, period. And they're like, we already used this regeneration thing on him, and he said he's not dead. He's not accepting it. So then they start going, and Batman has done really well here, I think. I mean, look at that face on Batman. That's really old school stuff there. And I love that Hawkgirl is in it. We don't get to see her enough. I mean, the Hawkgirl miniseries that's out right now is a joke. So it's good to see Hawkgirl in the Justice League at this point. And, Batman surmises that everything that happened with the Dreamstone and with Toyman and blah, blah, blah. So then we jump over here, and Supergirl is still having a stare-down contest with King Kong. And she gets this feeling that something's wrong with Cal, and she flies off, leaving Ollie with King Kong. Which I think is funny. And he's just like, hi. King Kong's looking down at him. And then he gets pissed off, and he's like, oh, it's not me you're pissed off at. It's all these ninja or whatever else that are down the bottom. So he fights all the ninja. And that he surmises, too, that they waited for Supergirl to leave before attacking, which actually is pretty smart. So we finally get Ollie doing some stuff, because even in his own series, doesn't do anything. So it's good to see Ollie get into some action here. And he's getting overwhelmed, and then King Kong decides that he's gonna thud to the ground here, knocking everybody off the cliff, and Ollie drops onto whatever that boat thing is down there. So we don't really know what happens to him at this point. That seemed like a very far drop that he wouldn't have broken some ankles and stuff like that. And then we get this very touching scene of Lois show up. And I guess he had just proposed to her in the first issue when Godzilla showed up. He was about to propose, and she tells him in his comatose state here, which I'm just going to say comatose, not dead, that she had found the ring in his pocket. And she says, my answer is yes, so you need to wake up. So she jumps into detective mode and starts going through all of, which is exactly what she would do, but Batman would do the same thing. So she goes through all the footage, and she sees Toyman there, and she starts trying to find Toyman's location. Meanwhile, all the villains are showing up, and I don't really like Black Manta's helmet there. I prefer the one that he has in the movie. And he's like, we're not waiting for Lex, we're waiting for Deathstroke and Tigra and Cheetah, who are off kind of doing their own thing. And they're Cyborg's trying to find this beacon that's drawing all the monsters, and one of the monsters went underwater, and they all go underwater. In this, okay. Well, we get this nice 2-page spread of Mera and Aquaman along with the Creature. And why? Stop giving Mera boots. Stop it. The Snyderverse is over. You don't need to give her boots. Ugh. And why doesn't Aquaman have the fins on the back of his legs? And let's cut his damn beard off. Mo is not playing the part anymore. See, he definitely doesn't have the fins. I always loved the fins on the back of Aquaman's legs, and he didn't have them in the movie either. So of course they're following the movie. That's why. But yeah, get rid of the boots on Mera. We don't need them. They weren't even in the movie. They was only in the Snyderverse version, which I hate. So we get all this stuff going on, and here's where the biggest problem I have coming up. So we get this nice thing with Godzilla's trying to be the hero. Thank God we got Godzilla being the hero. That's the reason I didn't like Godzilla -1 as much as everybody else did, because to me, the Godzilla is the hero. He's not the villain. So he's attacking that creature underneath the water, which I think is really cool, and using his flame breath underwater, which I don't know if he can do or not, but apparently he is. And then we get this really, really stupid scene. I don't know why he did this, but the writer, not Aquaman. Aquaman unchains this thing, which automatically reminded me of a movie. And I didn't realize that he was going to line by line the damn movie. So Aquaman releases the Kraken. Come on, man. Come on. Releases, what is he, Poseidon in Clash of the Titans? What the hell? So that ruined it for me. Because Aquaman doesn't have the Kraken, locked up in Atlantis. I mean, he literally, line for line, stole that from Clash of the Titans. Why? We got enough stuff going on where we don't need to steal from something else. So that knocked down points for me. I had so much good stuff going on, and at the end, he just ruined it for me. So, but as far as making a good film, this would be awesome. To conclude the MonsterVerse, and they would have to lower the amount of characters in the JLA so we could track it, because there's just too many characters at this point. But it would be lots of fun to have, Superman off the board now, Aquaman down below, we got Hawkgirl and Wonder Woman, we got Batman that's trying to save Superman, we got Billy that's, feeling guilty. There's so many really good thoughts of that, and I don't know why he had to put the Kraken in there. And he even says in the thing, release the Kraken. I'm like, what? What? See? He released the Kraken. Get out of here with that. Get out of here with that. All right, so, and now this was a $4.99 book, and it had like almost 30 pages. I'm good with that. If we get a bigger book for the amount of money we're spending, then good. All right. So let's jump into Aliens. This is issue 3. This is the continuation of the Zasha stuff, where her mom was, and when she was younger, and her mom and Dayton were all on this, it was like the Thing. So it was all in this frigid tundra, and then, they came to take her, all of her research, and she ended up impregnating herself with an alien, so her mother died, and, Dayton sacrificed himself, and then she went on, changed her name, and started working with Uni, whatever, when she left, so she could come back. And now she's looking for Dayton. She ends up at the very end of the last issue. She finds him, but the owner of the corporation, who's a younger guy, comes back, visits their excavation that they're doing. They're doing excavating one of the ships with this whole bunch of aliens underneath it, and they created this white ice alien, I guess. I don't know what you want to say, but the artwork's okay. And now we're starting out with them excavating. But we as an audience know that there's aliens all over the place. And one of them attacks the ship, and you can see that white ice alien who's bigger than the regular aliens, or xenomorphs, or what do you want to call them. And, we got this little action scene with the two aliens fighting. And then we jump back to Zasha and Dayton, and he's really fucked up, and he's only half a guy. I'm only half the man I used to be, because literally he's got no legs. So he has attached himself to a power source over all these years, because it's probably been about 8 years, whatever else, since she's been back, because she was more of a child, and now she's more of a grown-up. And then the boss shows up, holding her hostage, or holding her at gunpoint, and we get this cool shot of the alien killing the creature. And I think this is where they're in the lab. Yeah, this is where the alien breaks out of the lab, and it's the whole bunch of androids that are doing like the medical scientist side of testing it. But it had broken out, and I think it killed them all. And so now we have them attacking the thing. So they have, so this is the excavation of that ship, and they're all pulling on it by tethers. But of course, there's aliens all over it, and they send one guy out. Oh yeah, we didn't get to that part yet. So this is them holding her, Zasha, at gunpoint, while she's trying to explain everything, and Dayton's trying to explain his side of things. And now we're back at the lab. So it's got like 3 different things going on simultaneously, and he's trying to reason with it. Yeah, that ain't gonna happen. But you can see all the aliens all over the excavation thing, and they send. They try to shoot it. They're like, well, don't shoot the damn ship. He's like, "Oh, what do you want me to do?" They said, "We're going to take it into space and we're going to mess with them there." And this poor guy, I hope he's getting paid, hazard pay, because he sees one crawling across the tether, and he shoots it, but he doesn't realize that it's got acid blood. So, of course, the acid blood goes to the tether, and it breaks, and he falls. Hazard pay, man. Hazard pay. So, this is how... Oh, this must have been Dayton. This is how he lost his arm or whatever. I think this is like a flashback. So... Yeah. The reasoning with it didn't really help. So he had experience with these aliens, and I think that's why the boss wants him, because in his mind he has this thing, and it almost looks like he's got an earring on there. I don't understand that. So he's being a general dick, mostly like these bosses are. It's a bad call, Ripley. It was a bad call. So her partner finally dies in that whole thing, and the ship is destroyed, and everything's going to hell. Hell in a handbasket here. So then we get this really weird end splash page of this whole big alien coming out. This is supposed to be the queen, I guess. So... it has some good stuff in it, but overall, this is not really a good Alien book. It probably would not make a good movie because there's nothing really to it. We don't really have any kind of characterization of anything. The only person we even know about, or two if you want to call it the android, is Dayton and Zasha. Everybody else, we don't know anything about any of them. It's just all of this excavation stuff and all this problems and all this other stuff going on. So and they have another Alien movie come out. Looks horrible. They haven't done a good Alien movie in decades. Decades, probably since Alien 2. I don't think we've seen a good Alien movie. Aliens is probably the last good Alien movie ever. So whatever. But I'd love to have it come back and actually have a good one, but we just haven't seen one. All right, so let's jump into James Bond 007. This is by Garth Ennis. Okay, so the last one was pretty decent, I gotta say. This is by Dynamite, and again, it's 22 pages for $5. I don't know. Now even the independents are doing it. So we start out. This is a brand new thing. So we're starting out basically right from page 1 with a brand new story. And we have this guy who basically is saying that my son died, we're having his funeral, and we're going to get revenge on the guy who did it, which is James Bond, of course. So we have the whole family there for the funeral, and we go through all this text. Look at all this text. We get all this text of him saying, oh, and my 2 sons, and my 2 daughters, and my wife, and my fucked up mother, and and all this shit, right? So he's going on, we're gonna take this guy down. Was this, so we go through 2 pages of all this dialogue telling everybody how great they are, and we're gonna take this guy down with no problem. And then all of a sudden we turn around and he's killed them all. It's like, why did I have to read all that about all these people when you're just gonna kill them in the next page? Literally, there's none left. He killed them all. He's like, I just came back to, to close up all my loose ends. He's like, literally, that's what he says. So, whatever, man. Thanks for making me read all that shit that's kind of irrelevant. So then we go into. I almost wish that we had the splash page here with the credits that has him with the tunnel, shooting the tunnel. Because that seems like that was the opening, cold open. So we go to see Moneypenny, and Moneypenny says, be careful with M, blah, blah, blah. And, Moneypenny's black. Moneypenny's been black for a while now. But, do I really need a black M too? So I'd rather have it as a woman, really. So anyway, we have M, who then tells him his incomplete mission. I guess they had a uh, an experiment that they had years ago, and they had this weapon that freezes people, and then when it freezes people, they're using it on chimps. That it just once it kills whatever, it thaws and then evaporates. So there's no sign of what the murder weapon is, and I guess that it's been taken. So somebody has absconded with it, and he's got to have to go find it. That's basically the storyline. So he goes to see Q, and Q tells him that the location of a guy that has some information about that thing. So that's his next step. Meanwhile, we got this girl with the gun. I guess she's one of the testers, but that's really the only reason she's there. And so he goes to see the guy. He's in the water on the beach, and which is smart for them to even follow him into the water because there's no listening devices, etc. And then we get this guy pull up behind, or this car pull up behind while he's talking to the guy. And they go out and they start setting up a sniper. So they're going to snipe them in the water. And Bond goes out and sees them. Okay, so right there, it would have been a lot better if he got some kind of a notice that somebody was too close to the car and it would have beeped, and then he would have been able to turn around. And the reason being is, he says, "Oh, for the love of God, that I have to deal with this shit, and I have to ruin my car." Really, I think that's his basic thing. So he presses the button on the remote. This is why it would have been better that if he was notified and he was able to see it or something like that on his phone, rather than him just turning around and seeing it. It's always better with Bond to add tech, rather than him just accidentally seeing it. And so he blows the car. He blows the car. He blows up everything. And this guy, his gun's gone, his hand's gone, everything's gone. And he says, Bond goes to question him. He goes, "Who were you again?" And that's the end. So there's not much to this. That's why for $4.99, at least give us a few more pages, because there's not a whole lot here. But I like it so far. It's different because here you have this whole big thing, and he eliminates everybody right in the beginning. There's not much to it, because when we get this whole debriefing with M, and then he blows people up. And that's it. That's the entire issue. So not much happens, but I like what's going on. So I don't know. I'm going to reserve if it'll make a good film and television show, because I don't know the plot yet. I really don't know where it's going. All right, so let's recap. So I'm going to say maybe, but so far so good. Alien, no. We don't really know much about any of the characters here. It's not very compelling. There's a lot of action in it, but that's about the extent of it. And then we have Justice League versus Godzilla versus King Kong versus my monkey's uncle and my ass is my mom's ass kind of thing. What's going on here? And so I liked everything in this up till the end with the Kraken thing. That was bad, but this will make a good. I think this will be a really fun film. So anyway, that's it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Another one down in the history. So remember that. To like and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, why the hell not? Give me the thumbs up. Give me the middle finger. Whatever. Tell me what you guys are reading. Are you guys reading any of these? Are you liking it? Am I wrong? Am I right? Let me know. Also, at the end of the month, we are going to be doing the late pledge. So only a few more days. I got to jump on that. I'll probably jump on that tomorrow. Because I have been working on also on the card game and getting the rule book ready. So that's what I've been working on today. All right. Again, thank you so much for watching. Check out some of my other videos that'll pop up over here. And I appreciate you helping me grow the channel. Have a great week. All right. Bye-bye, guys.